That was good. So yeah, we don't have any permission in this hand, but like you're always keeping Bazaar turn 1 Vengevine hand, so it's also like a lot of damage. I really think that Andy was onto something here with the Gaia's Cradle main deck tech. I really like it. I'm a pretty big fan. Oh, we might just die. Oh, it's Eldrazi. I haven't seen an Eldrazi in a very long time. So we're gonna lose our Vengevine here. I have never played this matchup. I am not sure how it goes. They are a wasteland deck, and they are a big creature deck. So theoretically, it might not be a great matchup. Yo! Jeremy, thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. 4 months. There's like some value here in just wasting this temple, right? How does this backfire? I think I like wasting the temple here. This deck is like a lot better than survival because it just doesn't pay any mana for anything. It's just all free shit. I guess the punish would be a main deck Containment Priest. That is something that would punish me. Yeah. Instead of playing like a bunch of bad lock creatures, you just play free counter spells. Alright. Thorn doesn't really stop this stuff. It does stop the free counterspell part. And a Wasteland and a Revoker, which can only name non-lands. So it should probably name Rootwalla, which actually be really annoying. That kind of was annoying, but it didn't really change anything. I think we still want to just waste... Now I need to figure out... Do we waste their waste? I don't think so. We're gonna be advantageous on board by just activating Bazaar once. And if they waste us, that's just putting them behind in mana. But this is like a really easy opportunity to just waste their wasteland and then have an active Bazaar. We would take 6 though, put us at 10. We're not like attacking with our Vengevine, right? We could. I feel like it's an interesting choice. I could see that being right. I could see Bazaring being right here for sure. I don't think we need to attack because opponent has an active Crip. I mean, maybe we just get Containment Priest as their last card here, but they're like sequencing doesn't make sense if they had Containment Priests. So now I have an active Squee, which is kind of sick. I think I'm gonna go Vengevine, Rootwalla, Squee. And then we'll cast the Memnite to trigger the Rootwalla. Sorry, cast the Memnite to trigger the Vengevine. And I think I'm just gonna hold. Well, clock go to 6. No, I'll attack. What am I talking about? Yeah, I think it's just like so much better to save our Bazaar. Oh, shit. Hello. Yama Killer, I really appreciate the raid. I hope you had a good stream. For everyone who's joining us, we're playing just some vintage leagues to prep for this weekend's showcase challenge. We're playing what I think is the best deck, which is HollowVine, the Bazaar of Baghdad free spell deck. Welcome, everybody. I think so, Canister. But, like, it's not an unbeatable best deck, but it just feels like one of the best decks I've ever played. It just does some really powerful things. I mean, you could also play your favorite Golos decks, right? Mishra's Workshop. But, I don't know. I got sick of trying to battle it with blue decks, so here we are. Activate. That is a lot of blue cards. This one, and this one. We still can't activate our Root Wallas, but we want to play this to be able to play our other spells, and there's really no reason not to attack with our Vengevine. Yes, yeah, I think Golos is its worst matchup, for sure. I think the Cradle has been fantastic. That's a sweet draw, too. I'm going to save it for the Vengevine activation, and that way I can still hold up Force of Negation. I don't know if Force of Negation is really going to matter at this point, though. There's really nothing to Force of Negation, so maybe it's wrong. Maybe I was just supposed to, like, Gitaxian Probe and play a Stone Coil. Seems kind of awkward. The only thing that we can't really attack through is a Reality Smasher. I'm basically playing the stock list that Montolio or Winged would play. Another Thought-Knot Seer. I mean, that's like gonna take our Stone Coil, so we got kind of punished, I guess. None of these cards in my hand do anything, so I probably should have just at least cycled the Probe. Yeah, I definitely joined the enemy. I just gave up. I just can't beat this deck with the decks I like to play, so. Thanks for the follows, though. Trust me, I do not want to be the one playing Bazaar HollowVine. I can't do it anymore. That's a good draw. That's a good draw. Oh, can I just attack all yet? Squee is incredible in this deck. Is there any benefit to me probing? I guess I could draw a Vengevine. Can't pump. 3/4. I lose one. Root Walla. They take 6. I still have a blocker. Yeah, this is fine. I guess I didn't have a Force of Will before I did that. If I lose both my Root Wallas, it just is fine though. I don't think Dredge is super good right now. I think it's okay though. I just don't see why you would play Dredge when you can play HollowVine. I actually think HollowVine wins the Dredge matchup too, because you just board in 15 cards. So I just like don't really see a reason to play Dredge when you can play HollowVine. I'd rather have both forces up. I don't think it's gonna matter if I get this Root Wall into play next turn. I'd rather just be able to Force of Will if they draw like a Reality Smasher. You only bring it in against the Mirror and the Dredge deck. You're actually the control deck against Dredge, which is kind of weird. Because obviously you bring in Tabernacle when when you play against HollowVine, but when you play against Dredge, I'll show you after when we go to the sideboard. Oh, nice. Crypt kill. So, like, when you sideboard versus Dredge, you just take out these 15 Magic cards and you bring in these 15 Magic cards, and then you're the control deck. And you just, like, you don't have to mold a Bazaar at that point. You're looking for, like, Wastelands and control cards. Like, the Mirror is very, very weird. you're playing very counterintuitive Magic. Like you both want to activate Bazaar and put things into play, but you kind of have to like, you have to be kind of careful what you put into play because opponent can Tabernacle you. It's really, really wild. Anyways, opponent. I've never played against Eldrazi. I can't imagine. I imagine the only thing we really want are 4 Petrifying Fields. And I got to see what an Eldrazi list plays for hate. Are they on Grafdigger's Cages? I don't even know if there's a posted Eldrazi list. Oh, there is a posted Eldrazi list. They have main deck Leylines of the Void sometimes. 1 cage for Containment Priest. So I'm like looking at like, I don't know, these cards for these cards maybe. What do you think, Joe? I think you would rather play like 4 Containment Priests than play like a lot of cages. Like I feel like it's still max 2 cages, right? Maybe like a Mental Misstep is better than a Mindbreak Trap, but they still are like a multi-Moxen deck where they're trying to go like Moxen, Eldrazi. I don't think like Mindbreak Trap is unplayably bad. I mean, negation is like kind of rough, right? So, but negation is not more narrow than misdirection. I guess misdirection hits swords, which is about. So is misdirection less narrow? I don't know, actually. If we're only seeing Thorn, yeah, maybe misdirection is actually better because it hits swords than Force of Negation. That's kind of wild, actually. But I guess you could negate like a Lotus or a Mana Crypt, but obviously Mana Crypt was kind of nice for us there. Let's try this. I think it's some amount of these blue spells, but I just don't know which ones, to be perfectly honest. Misdirection is not obviously dead, right? Because the misdirection hits the Swords to Plowshares, which they're bringing it in as a 4 of. I guess if they're bringing in 4 Swords to Plowshares, we should not bring boarding out Mental Misstep. That's kind of dumb. So maybe we should rethink after we lose this one. So we're on the draw. We have a Force, a Wasteland, and a Chalice, but just not worth it. It's a kind of a rough powder because we are losing like one of each of our engine pieces, but you still powder here. And we still powder here. And we still powder here. Yeah, but is Chalice worse than some of those blue cards? Not me. I'm not really sure if that's the case. So half our deck is gone. So we've mulliganed to 2 hollow, 1's Bizarre, like, good cards. That's insane. We just got rid of 21 cards from our deck. This deck is really dumb. I don't know how else to describe it other than I think this deck is really dumb. How many Wasteland did we lose? We lost 3 Wasteland. That's kind of a lot. So I've been thinking, not me, about adding another like a Ghost Quarter to the sideboard. It's cool. It's definitely cool, right? It's definitely a unique take on how to play Magic. It's really good against the things I like doing, which is casting dumb blue cards and artifacts. So I get a little sad. I don't think that the Eldrazi deck is playing Tabernacle, though, not me. That's the thing. I think the Eldrazi deck will be on 0 Tabernacle. If they're on Tabernacle, then I guess good for them. Are they going to play Human Containment Priest here? That kind of seems like what's going to happen. But we have double hollow one, so it's not really the biggest deal. Like, we're clearly still going to try. But... So I actually get to use a Once Upon a Time here if I want, or I can keep Force of Vigor up. I don't know. I think what I would like to do here is pitch 1 Bazaar, Vengevine. I don't hate having Force of Vigor online, but I think it's more valuable to cast a Once Upon a Time. And I don't think I need 3 Bazaar, but I do think I want 2 Bazaar. So I really think that, like, yeah, I think they definitely have Priest, but would you just not play the Vengevine so you can cast Force of Vigor? That's kind of interesting. Would you just, like, pitch Blue Spell, Bazaar? Alright, I'm in. Now let's try it. I want to learn. Cast this without paying any mana cost. Hollow One number 3? Or do we want Gaia's Cradle? I assume we want Hollow One number 3. Alright, I'm gonna cast Hollow One. We're playing around the very obvious Containment Priest, Log. Log, I know you don't want to, like, play Magic, you just want to jam cards, but come on. I guess the question is, do we Vigor this Ruby in their upkeep? So here's your Priest, which we successfully played around. Doesn't matter, we have 3 Hollow Ones already. But who cares about a Priest? Alright, I'm gonna Vigor this Ruby, it feels correct to me. We can't beat a Smasher right now, so we gotta want to try to keep him off it. They do have Tabernacle! Shit! Alright, we're dead. I think we're just Stone Cold dead now. We lost one. Okay, yeah, we died to this. I'm surprised they play Tabernacle. It's pretty crazy. Alright, so I do think we want Misstep. I think we want Chalice on the play. I think we want to take out like it's kind of weird to, like, you don't really want to take out all these blue cards, but they're obviously the worst cards here. Maybe like Trap is still better than Misdirection. Possible. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, is Misdirection better than Negation? And I kind of think it is. Like, the only spell we can possibly be negating is Cage. And I guess if they, for some reason, played like a Rest in Peace, maybe? And then, of course, Fast Mana. But, like, we definitely think they're going to bring in 4 swords. So I think a Misdirection and a Misstep make more sense there. Try this. Thanks everybody who's stuck around since the Yama Killer raid. I really appreciate that. If you're new here, my name is Justin. I'm actually level 1 and I stream Vintage. All my videos go on YouTube. So if you want to learn more about Vintage and watch more Vintage videos, you can definitely check out my YouTube. There's a link down below, or you can type in !YouTube in chat. All right, we're on the play. We've got Powder Hand, in which we lose 1 of every engine piece again. But I mean, we're going to do it. In this one, we have a really strong Vengevine hand. I like this hand. Oh my god. I don't know. There's 1 Thorn, right? And you really have to hit Soul Ring or Crypt for it to be like a worthwhile negation. So I'm not really seeing it from my point of view. So we need to hit a Hollow One, a 0-drop, or I guess no, Arula doesn't exactly work to get double Vine on this turn. And I think you like to go in. Vine is a lot less punishing if our opponent Tabernacles our Vines than if our opponent Tabernacles our 3 Hollow Ones. So I don't think those cards are in Eldrazi decks. Oh wait, Bassi has an Eldrazi deck. They have 4 Ravenous Trap, a Peacekeeper, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, and 1. Okay, I should have. Sorry, this deck is really weird. I didn't realize that our opponent had 2 main deck Containment Priest, a Savine's Reclamation, a Trinisphere, 2 Deafening Silence in the main, 2 Swords in the main, 1 Tabernacle, Wow, okay, so I was boarding like this is I give like Karate and I don't know how to say this guy's name, Esperterino, a lot of credit as the players who usually push and pioneer Eldrazi lists, but I didn't realize that this player already had an Eldrazi list. All right. I was the beneficiary of a very large raid tonight, Noka, but I appreciate that. All right, we hit our second 0 drop, so we very easily get to go. We're gonna not be able to squee this turn, but because we have to pitch this Root Walla. But I think we might actually want to hold this Once Upon a Time for Force of Vigor anyways. The only thing we would really want to Once Upon a Time for is, well, that's not true. We would love like a Wasteland, right? We would love any land that combats Tabernacle. And but I just don't think that's what we want to do here. It's not going to work no matter what, Canister, because I think we have to cast a 0 mana Stone Coil. Well, is this uncast? That's uncast. Never mind. I think it works the way you're talking about, where by pitching our Root Walla, it's not going into the graveyard, so the Ravenous Trap won't be triggered, and I think that's a really good point. It's almost like Canister's a pretty powerful magician. Alright. Cast. 0. Triggers my Vengevines. My Stone Coil is still on the stack, so it hasn't hit the yard. We've got 8 haste power and a Force of Vigor up. We don't have a Force of Will up, but not bad. And we have a squee to fuel our Bazaar if our Bazaar lives at all. Really strong hand. Really strong hand. See if opponent has their 1 Tabernacle. They do have their 1 Tabernacle. All right, so we lose our board. But not the hugest deal because we do have a squee and the ability to rebuild. And we have 5 Wastelands in our deck. And our opponent's deck isn't actually, like, this is some pretty solid anti-synergy with opponent's deck. Obviously, you still do it because it's very good versus us, but value to activating right now. I don't think there's any value to well, Wasteland is the value to activating right now. And that's probably good enough value. The downside is, of course, Ravenous Trap, but we do have Force of Will. So let's Bazaar here. We hit a Cradle, which does do a similar thing to Wasteland. So what we'll do is we'll pitch Squee Vigor Once Upon a Time, play our Cradle and our Hollow. Well, will we save our Hollow one? I guess that's the next question. Is it worth saving the Hollow one to have a better chance of Vengevining next turn? And I think the answer to that question is probably yes. So I'm going to pitch the green one so that we can still have Force. I'm going to play this Cradle, so we'll be able to pay for the Vengevines and not have to play a land next turn. And we'll be able to hold up. Oh, I should not F6. Jeez. No. I don't think I saved the Cradle. If they waste the Cradle, they didn't waste the Bazaar, which would be insane. I would love them to waste Cradle here. So this is certainly the downside to holding our Hollow one. No. We definitely don't hold Cradle there. I don't agree with that. So what do we got, opponent? Page. Oh, we just got rid of all of our Force of Green cards. Very unfortunate. We're gonna need these Vengevines to win this game. And we've already pitched so many green cards. I really feel like we probably have to force this. I definitely was not interested in forcing the Mox. Definitely was not interested. This certainly backfires if they play like a Containment Priest or a Peacekeeper. Both of which I can't beat without having a Force. Gonna be a really hard game to win if we can't bring back our Vengevines, though. But we could always hit a Force of Vigor later. What do we have exiled? So we don't have any more Vengevines. We have 3 Root Wallas, 3 Vigors, 3 Once Upon a Times. It'll be really dependent on us hitting a Bazaar. I think we're not supposed to force this. My conclusion is I think we're going to be spending a lot of time doing nothing, and I think there are actual things we need to counter that are more important. We do play Petrified Field, so that would be a decent reason to force it, but that still doesn't really stop what we're doing, right? Like we would still be bringing back Bazaar. We still have, I guess we have to draw to Force of Vigor at that point. Am I gonna hold this Wasteland? I think so. If they were to Wasteland, yeah, I'm definitely gonna hold the Wasteland. You should still cast the Tinker and see if you get people to concede. I just think there's like enough. Maybe there's not enough threats that are we want to counter with Force of Will. That's a good one. That's a green card. I can't Wasteland this Plains, unfortunately. Like, if this is a Containment Priest, I think I really want to counter it. That's true. That's really true as well. I like have to Wasteland this Tomb, right? Like I can't like give them the mana to be playing things. I think I am supposed to Wasteland. I know that they still have a Tabernacle in play, but I just don't think that I'm allowed to leave them with that much mana. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. So they had their 1 Tabernacle as well as Wasteland Cage Priest, and that might be good enough. Interesting. They're probably going to take Hollow One here, but we kind of need to hit our Bazaar or our Petrified Field. Hello. Nice to see you there. We're gonna activate now in case we draw Hollow One. What's activating on their turn doing for me? Preventing us from getting, well, we're still gonna get Rab Trap no matter what. But if they do it before they draw, yeah, let's activate. Okay, 1, 2, 3, pass. We have a Rab Trap as well. Looks like they have a, oh, no, but we were safe. They have to pay for the Thought-Knot here. I don't know about winning. They could just easily have another Wasteland, right? Soul Ring, sure. Gives me another nice target when I draw Force of Vigor, yeah. Another Once Upon a Time. Another Wasteland. So we play the Wasteland out, but we don't use it. Do we just hold the Wasteland? Probably just hold the Wasteland. Still have no Force of Vigor and no other creatures. I think wasting Tomb is easily the worst thing you could do, Log. The last 3 things you've said, I think, were easily the worst possible line. That's true. I could waste the Cradle. You're right. You're right. Chat's always right. We have some time, but we do need to draw some cards that matter. Displacer. Probably not good for us. Can you like blink in response to the trigger? Is that how that works? No. Yes, that is the reason you would want to waste Tomb, is to stop opponent from playing Smasher. Yes, that would be the reason. I just don't think that's a good enough reason. Okay, so we have Force of Vigor. So I think we want to play the Wasteland and pass. How do we want to sequence this? Maybe we do need to, because we would just die to Smasher. No, they have to pay. They have to pay. They pay 2, so they'd have to hit a land for us to die to Smasher. I guess that's a pretty decent reason to not activate now in case we hit a root wall to save us from Smasher. I actually think we're not actually supposed to activate Bazaar, Eric. That's what I'm trying to work through right now. I actually think we're not supposed to activate Bazaar right now. The plus side would be if we hit a hollow one, but we also need to get these Vengevines back. These Vengevines are incredibly important. So, like, even if we hit a spell we want to cast this turn, I'm not sure you want to cast it. That's the problem. So at that point, are you even playing this Wasteland? I don't think so. I think we just pass the turn and force... Wait till they pay and force whatever they have left for mana sources and the cage. I'm aware Force can only be activated on their turn. All right, I think we're supposed to pass. And then I think we wait for them to pay. And then once they pay, we Vigor the cage and the ruby. The downside is if they draw another cage. That's the downside of this play. But I think being able to cut them off 1 mana here is pretty reasonable. Oh. Whoa, we lucked out. No Smasher. And this is like another reason we had to read they had a lot of mana, so wastelanding their other thing didn't really matter. They're just gonna attack. They can always blink, but this comes back tapped, right? So might be hard for us to win, but they could still just have Containment Priest and we can't ever win, right? Are they gonna activate like now? Like, why would you do that? Really makes sense. We have 2 draws, right, with our Bazaar, but we do need to hit creatures. If we don't hit creatures, we're gonna be in a deep amount of trouble here. But if we can hit them to 2, we might still just like die to act to Displacer activations, right? Not exactly, because they do have to use the Soul Ring to pay. And then they can't use Tomb, so they only have 1 Displacer activation. I guess they have a Displacer activation on our attack, so they could save their Tomb. Triple Vine doesn't do it, unless they for some reason activate now. They're gonna activate now, or do you just have a Containment Priest and we can't beat that? Activates their Ancient Tomb to play. God damn it. Ugh. All right, so how do we beat this? Oh, how do we beat? They just drew all of the really annoying one-ofs that I talked about. All right, so let's see if we have a Force. The first thing is first. We found the Force but didn't find a blue card. That's funny. Well, they're just gonna sack it on their turn and attack, but we can just get an army in to defend. So Squee, Once Upon a Time, Petrified Field, I think. I think I'd rather still have this Wasteland. And then upkeep, we get... I mean, none of this matters if we don't draw any creatures, right? It's not exactly... It's unbeatable in normal circumstances, but here it's a little difficult for them. Like, we could strip mine their planes if we drew a strip mine, and then they couldn't pay for it. Do we... We might have to not activate this turn, though. We might have to activate next turn, like during their turn. Like, we can't attack and win here, right? So we might have to like bring back all of our vines on their turn, which would need us to hit multiple root wallas. We'd have to hit 2 root wallas. Is that true? So like our option here is to like play Bazaar, pass, have them sack Peacekeeper, hit double root walla off of our 2 Bazaar activations. I guess the other thing is if we do hit a hollow one, we could play it, but they still have the ability to blink. I guess hollow one Memnite and then we can block. Yeah, you're right. Hollow one Memnite's better than that. Oh, we're so close, chat. Close. I think it's really busted. So if I play Bazaar and activate Bazaar, I will only have 1 card left. If I play Memnite, activate Bazaar, I'll have 0 cards left. I would have to hit a Root Walla. Is that where we're at right now? We just have to hit a Root Walla. There's like no reason to play Memnite beforehand. It doesn't change anything. Just have to hit a Root Walla, I think. Okay. We still have an active Peacekeeper that we have to beat somehow. Not exactly. That probably involves us drawing a strip mine. We won't time out, no worries. We don't have Gut Shot. We have Wings sideboard with your main deck, I think. You gotta read the cards. This says creatures can't attack. This comes back immediately. So... Oh, you're saying in response to the Tabernacle? Yeah, that would be a problem. We might not actually be able to beat this. We have a lot of waste effects. Alright, it's possible. They could also just misplay it, right? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that works the way, like, I had brought that up earlier, but they can just, like, get rid of the trigger by flickering it, so they don't need white mana, per se. They have a lot of creatures in play that they have to pay for, yeah? No, they could flicker, they're saying flicker it with this displacer, which costs colorless. This deck does pose some interesting puzzles from time to time. Like, there are a lot of non-games where you just 12 haste them, like our first match of the day, but there are definitely games where you have to solve the puzzles. So, are you gonna... What are you gonna do? Are you gonna flicker one and then... You're gonna flicker, like... What are they... Oh, they let the dude die? Alright, well, we got a shot, chat. That's not the line I would have taken as the opponent. We just need to draw a strip mine. We can waste this, we might want to... we should pull their list back up and look at their other white sources. 4 planes. Opponent says they misclicked. Wasteland. Oh, no! No. We were just dead. Okay, alright. So now I gotta play faster here. Do I do any bizarre active? No. Oh, don't say it strips an exile card. No. Yeah, we'll end of turn Bazaar. Try to get more squeeze. Currently, we can pay for our hollow one. We're not gonna, get rid of this because we want them to be paying 3 mana for their Peacekeeper. I'm not actually sure if we'll end of turn waste the Tabernacle. It's probably fine. Lost a Petrifying Field and a Cradle. I think we're just supposed to waste the Tabernacle. I don't think they have a second Tabernacle in their deck. Maybe that's just wrong. Oh, I should activate on upkeep. I forgot to activate on upkeep. I should have activated once on upkeep. Fortunate. I fucked that up. Now we just have to wait, I think. I fucked that up. I really wanted to activate once on upkeep. If I guess that's true. Maybe I can't activate on upkeep. Oh, I have Petrified Fields. I should have one more Petrified Field, so technically yes. They drew their own Strip Mine. Okay. That's fine. I do have to worry about time now, though. I'm gonna activate this, I think. I think I would rather have a Vigor than a... No, I guess I wouldn't. I guess I would rather have a Force. Petrified Field. Wasteland. I think I would rather... Oh, I guess I can keep Wastelanding them. I think that's probably better than a Force. It's really hard to get a second green card, Log. Yeah, but it's fine, guys. The clock is fine. We'll be fine. How many cards do we have left? 12? How many squeeze do we have left? 2? We might not even be able to rebuy our creatures. We're gonna have to win with this hollow one. Okay, squeeze. Strip mine. Strip mine. Oh, my thing just disappeared for a second and I got really freaking scared. Alright, so now we have the problem of opponent can play a Thought-Knot Seer and block, or a Reality Smasher and beat us. Revoker is fine. So I don't know if we can actually get these Vengevines back. That might be a hard ask. We might just have not enough cards to do that. But we have the clock. Not the actual clock. The attacking clock. Do we activate a second Bazaar? Oh. Why does it keep disappearing? It's so scary. All right, I just hope opponent doesn't have a 5/5 off the top, I think. I didn't do the math. I don't really want to start counting. Pearl. Everything is disappearing on me. They have 2 Peacekeepers! I don't think we have enough to force a Vigor again. They don't have a... They're paying off that now. We don't have any Force of Vigors left. I guess we lost. I didn't think they had 2 Peacekeepers. That's so many Peacekeepers. Holy shit. Oh, I wouldn't have even countered that if I had a counter up. I'm never playing around second Peacekeeper. I think I got nothing. Yeah, we would have easily won if we had our squee earlier, for sure. Oof, brutal. Brutal. That's a really unlucky bottom set of cards. That's crazy. I can't believe we lost that. I also can't believe that like opponent didn't have a Reality Smasher or like anything, but so they went up. So they have at least a Tabernacle, and now they went up a Peacekeeper. Wow. All right, we got. Opponent came prepared, and they drew all their cards that mattered. So I thought it was a pretty interesting game. I feel like we learned a little bit.